Hello, everyone, and welcome to Something to Talk About. We're so excited that you're joining us today.
Hi, y'all. Of course, as usual, we have a great show for you. We have some very interesting parenting advice from Jenna Bush Hager that I think actually might be a tad bit controversial. So we're going to want y'all to weigh in on this when we get there. We also had a discussion, does the Queen have a last name? Is she like Madonna or what's going on there? So we did some digging because that's our royal tidbit of the day.
Yes.
And Jorie's going to have not one, but two stories about amazing Southerners, because, you know, this region is just full of spectacular people. But up first, Jorie, you have the latest scientific discovery, right?
I do, and it's super scientific. Just kidding. It is actually, science has just discovered, the big science, has discovered that taking a trip with your girlfriend is good for your health. With your girlfriends, I'm sorry. So not romantic girlfriend, with your gal pals.
Yes.
Is good for your health, which I kind of already knew. So
how could it not be?
Yeah, so this is like nothing new to me, but now science is backing it up. So now I can just take trips with my girlfriends all the time. So yeah, it's saying that an occasional mini break is actually really, really good for you. It's been proven that friendship can extend life expectancy, lower chances of heart disease, and psychologists were able to predict the size. This is really cool. Predict the size of someone's friend group based on their tolerance for pain. So the more friends you had, the more good people in your life, you could tolerate more pain.
Interesting.
So, and this has been proven.
What the correlation is
I don't
there.
know. So they didn't know the size of these people's friends groups, but once they could see how much pain they could tolerate, they could predict it.
But I wonder if, here's the cynic in me. So I'm one of those people that doesn't have a million friends, but I do have a couple of just really close friends that are practically family that I could tell anything to. And having just a ton of people around me sounds pretty painful. So I'm wondering if you have all these people, and since you can tolerate all that, then you can tolerate more pain.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
I don't know.
I wonder if they were measuring the size of your friend group or how good your friend group is, because there's a big difference.
There is a big difference.
So,
not to, squash any of those social butterflies out there that do have a million friends, because there are those people out there, and those friendships are genuine, but I am just really curious what that correlation actually means.
So the fine folks at Harvard actually did another study. And
Harvard, they're so smart.
So smart. Those Ivy Leagues. But yeah, they actually said that there's an opposite correlation as well, meaning the people who don't have strong friendships tend to be more depressed, have later life cognitive decline, and were, scary enough, die at a younger age, which again kind of, I guess, makes sense.
But you think about people being lonely and
right.
Yeah, that's
or it makes me think of people a couple who've been together a long time. When one passes away, the next one goes kind of quickly. It's kind of a dark conversation, but I guess it's just when you don't have anyone, or you're so, anyway.
Definitely.
But the positive note is that you should clear your schedule and take a trip with your girlfriends, because it's good for you.
You're doing that this summer, right?
I am. I just booked a trip to Naples, Italy with my best friend in the whole world, Lindsay. Shout out to Lindsay. Yes, we are going to Naples. Her family is moving there because her family's in the military. So
Naples, Italy, not Florida.
Not Florida, Italy, yes.
Not that Naples, Florida is not nice and
probably
beautiful.
Great too. But yes, we're going to Italy. We're going to spend a week there and maybe go see Pompeii and kind of do the coast. And
amazing.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to it.
I'm doing a girlfriend trip too in March. My sister and my best friend from college, we're all actually sorority sisters, and we're going to Oxford, Mississippi in March. It's like a sorority reunion weekend for us at Ole Miss, and
that'll be
so
fun.
not very far, but still one of my favorite places in the world is Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah,
so that's going to be my
good
little
food.
girlfriend getaway, and that's going to be a lot of girlfriends because it's a sorority reunion, all classes, so it's going to be hundreds of women.
You're just going to boost your life expectancy.
I know. I'm going to be able to tolerate so much pain. I'm going to schedule a surgery after that weekend.
Oh my gosh, yeah, exactly. Anything you need to get out of the way. Goodness gracious. Well, I love that story. It's a good excuse to get out and about with your girlfriends.
Yeah.
So.
All right, it's time for our royal corner of the week.
I feel like we need a jingle when we talk about the royals, some kind of royal jingle.
Or you put
we'll
crowns on
yeah,
or
exactly.
something. So here's the question that I have wondered a good little bit, and I've actually did some research on a while back, and we posted this story this week, so I'm kind of glad to see that I'm not the only one at Southern Living that was very curious about this. Does the Queen have a last name? does Queen Elizabeth have a last name? And I've wondered this because I've heard that, like when Prince William and Duchess Catherine go out, like they've signed their last names as Cambridge. Mm-hmm. But, okay, stay with me. It is a little complicated, like all of the royal family tree can get. So the royal house name is Windsor. Okay, so that means all of the descendants of George V have the last name Windsor. Mm-hmm. Now, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, because they're like super special, their offspring have a little bit different name to differentiate. I can never say that word.
Differentiate.
Yes, that from the rest of the royals. So, in 1960, the Queen and Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, decided that their own descendants would have a special distinction from the rest of the royal family. So their last name is not just Windsor, it's Mountbatten Windsor. It's like a hyphenated double last name. So all of the Queen's offspring, her descendants, plus the women that marry her sons and grandsons and now great-grandsons, will take on the last name of Mountbatten Windsor. The reason being that was Prince Philip's surname was Mountbatten, and then Queen Elizabeth's surname was Windsor, and then they got married and they have children, and so they have that hyphenated last name, which seems very progressive.
It is, and I've read a lot about this because I've also had to write an article about the royal family's last names, and it was very progressive, especially at the time that she wanted to hyphenate and kind of include his last name.
Yeah, like she
especially because he wasn't British.
Yeah, he's like Greek, right?
Yes.
So she kept her, like, it's like very like progressive working woman. Like, I'm gonna keep my last name, but you can just like tag yours on with mine.
Right. I don't know how my boyfriend would feel about that. If I was like, I'm gonna keep my name, and then we can just hyphenate the whole thing.
Yeah. But anyway, I just find the royals so interesting. They just operate on like just like different from the rest of us, you know what I mean?
Very
like,
true.
Even their names are different.
And I think William and Harry went by Windsor as well in school, right? Like
I don't know.
William Windsor, I think is what like they would call them in
grade
school.
That's cute though, William Windsor. I love that.
It is very cute. Anyway, but yeah, that's super interesting. Don't get into their family tree unless you have time because it's a lot.
That is a deep dive.
Yeah.
That is what I call an internet rabbit hole.
Right. 3 hours later, you'll still be like looking up random things about the royal family. But this story, it's in no way related. Going back to the South, back to Arkansas, one of our favorite southern states. And guys, I love this story so much. So it's a bus driver who also teaches special ed. She has turned her school bus route into story time, which is
fun.
So fun.
That's probably much better than some of the stories being told on that school bus.
Right, goodness gracious. I remember my school bus days. Gosh.
Grew up quick on the school bus.
Yes, one savvy teacher, bus driver in Arkansas, she just takes her bus route and uses it to inspire the kids she has on our bus. So she is a special education teacher. Her name is Julie Callison, and she teaches at the Drew Central School District. So this is what she says. This year, I added a bucket of books to my bus to encourage students to read. This way, the way it works is when they get on, they can grab 3 books or less, up to 3, and once they're done reading them, they can exchange them.
Cool.
Yes, and on Fridays, normally a kid from the back of the bus, which means it's the older kids, so like the high schoolers sit in the back.
You all know the bus hierarchy.
Yes. Yeah. So every Friday, one of the older kids actually picks out a book and reads to the entire bus over the loudspeaker. She says she's seen older kids reading to younger kids all the time, and it's just like a really positive environment. And in an age where we're so focused on our smartphones, and I think it's like a fun time to spend your 30-minute bus ride reading a little bit.
I mean, I love that too, just because I went to public school, rode that school bus, and that school bus was a war zone. Like I didn't ride in the back of the bus because I was a small kid, I wasn't cool enough, and they talked about things back there in the back of the school bus that I just was not prepared to hear yet.
Yeah.
So I love that she's taking I think that's a pretty standard stereotype of riding the school bus. And she's taken that atmosphere and turned it into something really positive. Mm-hmm. And I can also remember how segregated the different ages of kids are on the school bus. Yeah. Like, you're right, the older kids are in the back. They don't talk to the younger kids unless they're making fun of them or something. At least that's how it was on my school bus.
I think you're right.
And so, but they're like now getting involved, and the older kids are like setting good examples for the younger kids. That's just really neat.
Awesome. And I think she is planting seeds in these, young youth of America that reading's awesome. So I feel like if you learn at a young age, I feel like my grandfather did this for me. He was always reading books to me and giving me books, even books that I probably shouldn't have been reading. I remember my grandpa gave me The Green Mile to read when I was in second grade.
That's heavy.
Very young. But there was 6 books and they were all this skinny, so really tiny. And I remember reading them, and I've always loved reading since. So I feel like if you start when you're young, that maybe it can just carry over.
Yeah, it's like a rolling library.
Yeah, I love that. So cool. Yes. Oh, this next story is also mine.
You're just hitting us with these positive Southerners to inspire us into the weekend.
Yes, I also love this one. Speaking of grandpas, so this family is asking for birthday cards to be sent to Oklahoma for this World War II veteran who's battling cancer. His name is Riesel Troxel. He's 92 years old, and he is obsessed with getting mail, which I think is so cool.
I love getting mail, too.
I do.
Who doesn't?
It's such a special thing. People don't do it that much anymore, even a good thank you note or anything. But he says as his daughter, when she's hanging out with him, her name's Liz Anderson, when he sees the mail coming, he's like, is the mail here? We should get the mail. Is the mail here? And he's just really excited to get out there and see what he has. And a lot of times now, all he has is bills because people just don't write mail anymore.
Or those junk mail coupons that nobody looks at.
Yes, oh my gosh, that's so true. It takes me 10 minutes to get to my actual mail just to throw all that away. But he lives in Marlow, Oklahoma. And so his family wants to do something really special for his birthday this year. They're kind of making their address public, so anyone who wants to can send him a birthday card. So I'm hoping that he just gets hundreds of birthday cards in the mail. And
yeah, let's do that, y'all. It's all right, Riesel.
Yes, we're gonna
birthday cards.
We're gonna post his address, or at least the link to the story in the comments below, so you can have his address. And if you feel so inclined, write Riesel a birthday card. I'm definitely going to. I think this is such a sweet and cool story.
Let's do it. I love this stuff.
Yeah, so his family just wants to start celebrating early, and he turns 93 in April. So you have a couple months to kind of get it over there. But put it on your to-do list.
Yes.
Such a cool story.
Make those trips to the mailbox extra fun.
Yeah, just birthday cards keep on coming. I love that. So yes, we will add the address if you guys want to take part in that.
That's sweet. And I love that the family put that out there because they knew that we would hear those stories and we would be like, yes, we got to send this guy some cards.
How could you not want to?
I know. They have faith in us.
Right.
Okay. Here's our last story that is a wee bit controversial, so we want y'all to weigh in here.
Guys, I haven't even heard the story yet, so I'm excited to listen to what Meg has to say.
It's parenting advice, but it's going to be interesting.
I'm ready.
So Jenna Bush Hager recently revealed this parenting tip on the Today Show, and I need to hear what y'all think about this because I'm not sure what to think. Okay, so she picked this up from her mom, the former First Lady, Laura Bush, and she said that when she and her twin sister Barbara were kids, her mom would sometimes let them take a break from school to reset and recharge, and they would kind of indulge in a day off from the regular weekday routine. I mean, we do that as adults. We get most of your companies, you get a couple personal days a year, so you can have these mental health days to take a break. But I never thought about extending that to kids, to school-age kids. But the former First Lady, that's what she did with Jenna and Barbara. So they would get maybe one mental health day a semester where they would just be overwhelmed, they were exhausted. So she'd be like, all right, we're going to take the day, we're going to go to lunch, we're going to read together, we're just going to have a day, and you're just going to have a break. And so Jenna Bush was sharing this with Hoda Kotb on the Today Show, and she said she loved that. She plans to do that with her daughters when they get a little older, because she's like, we all get exhausted, even little kids, and they need a break. So I never heard of this for kids. I don't think my parents ever would have allowed that. I mean, I think in my entire school career, if we want to call it kindergarten to 12th grade, I want to say my mom gave me one day where I just had a rough day. I'd gotten a curling iron stuck in my hair before school. My dad had to cut my bangs. It just was not a good day. It was 7th grade. And my mom was like, all right, let's take a break. Let's go get some cookies. And I think I actually did still go to school later that day. I just went a little late. But that was one day out of the whole 12 years. Yeah. And I could just see myself telling my parents as a 4th grader, I need a mental health day, they would be like, you're a 4th grader. Every day is a mental health day.
Right. Go to school and color.
So, but I don't know. But then when she words it like that, I mean, now as an adult, I'm like, yeah, sometimes I just get exhausted.
Yeah. Well,
But maybe I'm just soft.
I'll be honest with you. My parents totally did this with us.
They did?
Yeah. Especially, I think my little brother, he wasn't quite as bad. But any day that I was like, there's not much going on at school. I don't have any tests. I don't feel like going. They were like, all right, don't go. And you guys, I made straight A's.
Yeah.
So like I think if ever my grades started to drop, they would have never considered it because I was such a good student, though.
Yeah, you're a good student.
Me,
you have a great job now. You're like an amazing adult. So clearly this did not have adverse effects.
It didn't. My mom says that she worried a little bit when I went to college because when I felt like missing a class, I'd miss, and you can't do that in college. So it is a hard transition, I think.
So, that's interesting because I just said my parents probably never would have allowed it. And then I went to college and I skipped class all the time.
Yeah, so
and I should not have.
It was backlash.
As my dad said when I came home after my first semester with grades, you were clearly majoring in a social life and minoring in education.
But I
should have gone to class more. So
my grandma did not do this with my dad, though. I don't think he missed a day of school up until like 8th or 9th grade. So she was very strict, and no, they kind of let me miss when I wanted to, and I think same with my little brother. So I think it was great.
Yeah. Okay. So we really want to hear what y'all think. We're gonna jump in the comments and talk with y'all, and because jury's out for me. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of convincing me that it can work.
Yeah.
If Jack turns out like you, that would be good. So
Thank
maybe
you.
I should, if he's like, Mom,
I don't
2-year-old daycare is just
stressing
too
me
much
out.
for me right now. I'm stressed.
Yeah, you still got a little while to make up your mind about it. That's funny. Hopefully it's a little while before he's like, I'm tired. I don't want to.
Mom, I'm just too stressed for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man. There was an argument over the Play-Doh yesterday. I can't handle it. But, yeah, no, that's super interesting. Definitely let us know what you guys think about this. We want to talk about it. Help us make up our minds. But that's all we have this week.
It's beautiful here in Birmingham. We hope it's beautiful where you are. So we're going to cut out a little early and then go soak up some sun.
Yes.
Just to get that vitamin D before it gets cold again.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
Because
tomorrow.
That's like life in the South. It's 70 today and it's going to be 40 tomorrow.
Oh, gosh. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next Thursday at 3 p.m.
Yes. Bye, y'all.